We proceed every council meeting with a word of prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would like, please feel free to join us. Miss Isby, could I ask you to?
You'll bow with me. Our gracious Father, we thank you for the abundant blessings that you've given us. We thank you, Lord, for this community that you blessed us to be stewards of. And we just ask, Lord, that everything that we do tonight will be pleasing to your sight and that you at the end will get the glory. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now call this meeting to order. Mr. Garrett, please call the roll.
Mr. Hawkins? Ms. Tucker?
Here.
Ms. Mel?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Ms. Isby?
Here.
You should have received copies of the city council minutes for the meeting in October 26, 2021. Any additions, changes, or corrections?
Make a motion for approval as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted. There no further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 6-0. Mr. Hawkins, that was a heck of a ball game Friday night, wasn't it?
Yes, sir, it was, and I got to use my favorite phrase in the proper context of the ball game, and we won till we didn't.
It was a heck of a high school ball game.
It was
It
a
was.
Cats
dance.
looked great.
It was
Anyway, Mr. Hawkins, I'll turn this over to you for community development.
very good, Mr. Mayor. Let's take a look at this, and we do have one of these things that's paid up, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But we do have some resolutions that we're requesting that the Faulkner County Tax Collector place on some properties because of liens incurred by the city. And we're going to start with a resolution number. R21-112. Mr. Garrett, I did not bring anything to write with, so you're going to have to read these to me every time, if you don't mind tonight, sir. The first piece of property that we had to do some work on is at 26 Briarwood Circle. The city incurred $141.77 of expenses to clean that up. Is there a owner or representative of an owner from 26 Briarwood Circle in attendance with us tonight? After looking everyone in the eye, Mr. Mayor, I don't. Thank you very much. Do I have to give them back?
That
Is
didn't
my
even
question.
Keep the one I gave you.
Yeah, it's mine.
Yes, sir.
Very
Keep
good.
it.
I'll put them back up at the mayor's desk here in a moment. Boy, I tell you what, when you needing help, you get help. I like that.
I know he got water.
No
last
no
time.
representatives for that one here, Mr. Mayor. So resolution is 112.
I make a motion for approval of the resolution.
I have a motion and a second to approve this lien on property located at 26 Briarwood Circle in the amount of $141.77. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Passes 7-0. Mr. Hawkins.
Next location, Mr. Mayor, is at 2215 Cedar Oaks Drive. Is there an owner or representative of an owner from 2215 Cedar Oaks Drive in Conway? Once again, Mr. Mayor, I don't see anyone here, so we have a resolution to be read for this. It's resolution R21-113. And
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve this resolution to place a lien on property located at 2215 Cedar Oaks Drive in the amount of $179.04. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Passes 7-0. Mr. Hawkins.
Mr. Mayor, since I was presented with two pens, I'm alternating them
Okay.
back and forth when I write down my stuff. Third item, Mr. Mayor, is property at 3900B, like Bravo, on Tyler Street. Is there an owner or representative of an owner of 3900B Tyler Street with us? Once again, I look everybody in the eye, and I don't see anyone, so we have a resolution for this item. Back to the red pen, resolution R21-114.
Make
Motion for the adoption of the resolution.
second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this resolution to place a lien on property located at 3900B Tyler Street in the amount of $184.28. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
7-0.
Next item, Mr. Mayor, the fourth item on Eve Lane has been
Mr. Hawk-
paid.
Has been paid. There
Has
you go.
been paid.
Yes, sir.
So that one comes off of the list, and we go down to 3900C Tyler Street. Looks kind of like 3900B, except it's a C. Is there an owner or representative of an owner from 3900C Tyler Street with us? Mr. Mayor, I don't see anyone, so we have a resolution to be read for this. It's Resolution R21-115.
Make a motion for the adoption of the resolution.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve this resolution to place a lien on property located at 3900C Tyler Street in the amount of $523.89. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Passes 7-0. All right. Mr. Hawkins.
Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you bearing with me there while I got to
I
the
thought you were waiting on me. I'm sorry.
I know. Well, I was waiting on you, but I was hunting at the same time because I usually have paper, and I'm not a computer guy.
Hold up one thing here. I gave you the wrong numbers. We started on the wrong one on those resolutions.
Well, now,
Can I read off the new resolution numbers?
Mr. Garrett, no, sir, you can't do that.
It's official now.
So, the first one, the 26 Briarwood, would be Resolution R2179. I gave you an ordinance number, yes, sir.
79.
79.
Okay.
The 2215 Cedar Oaks would be R2180. 3900B Tyler would be R2181. And the 39C Tyler would be R2182.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Garrett.
Mr. Garrett, in all my born days, I've never seen you do that.
What, catch it before we left?
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Man, that too. Next item, Mr. Mayor, is an ordinance rescinding Ordinance O2149 that accepted grant funds from the Arkansas Historic Preservation Program for the Conway Historic District Commission to be administered by the Planning and Development Department. And without even looking, I think that's James that moved up there. There you are.
Indeed, yes.
There you are. Tell us about this.
Yes, our department had gotten a little ahead of ourselves in terms of when we accepted the selection of CMEC back in the spring, and so we went ahead and appropriated funds. All of the funding for that is actually reimbursement, and so we thought, oh, the state's just giving us extra money, $20,000, which we did not spend. So we went through and did some accounting discovery recently and realized, oh no, that was just an accounting error, and so we're rescinding that ordinance. Once we actually get the funds, then we will allocate the funds and do that. So we've been, it's once we actually get reimbursed. We have not been reimbursed yet, so it was sort of an accounting hiccup. The good news though is additionally that we have been granted an additional $14,500 from the state for another survey for the Hendricks edition. So
But this is ours, though.
I'm sorry.
This is our money this time, right?
The money being granted, you're saying it's money being granted from the state. Yes. Yeah.
I make a motion to waive 3 readings.
I have a motion and a second to waive the 3 readings. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0.
Make a motion. Go on, Sheila.
Make a motion for the adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance to rescind O2149, accepted grant funds from the Arkansas Historic Preservation Program for the Planning Department. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett, I'm sorry.
This one will be O21-112.
112.
Final answer.
Thank you.
Finally, that's my final.
Mr. Garrett.
Mr. Ledbetter?
Yes.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Ms. Isby?
Yes.
Ms. Mel?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
And Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Mr. Hawkins.
Ms. Tucker, we're usually better than this. All right. Next item, Mr. Mayor, is a resolution authorizing the mayor to submit an application for the matching grant from Fema and the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management Hazard Mitigation Assistance Grant Program. And we have a resolution to be read for this. It's Resolution R2183.
Before Finley comes up to explain to the folks at home what we're doing here tonight, Finley will be leaving the city of Conway in December. He's spent 12 years with us. I've really I rely on him greatly, and he will be missed. But hopefully he's done a good job of putting people in place in his department who can step right up and step in the job. So I think we're going to be okay. But Finley, it's probably the nicest thing I've ever said to you, that I'm going to miss you. So, and I'll take it back tomorrow.
I'd expect nothing less. Thank you, sir. I walked on up presuming that you were going to call me to the podium. I apologize.
Yes.
Are you ready for me to?
Would love to.
Okay. All right. We have applied for this before, so this is not new, but we're more hopeful every time. As a matter of fact, we have been told by the agency that we are submitting this to that this is that they're very positive. They feel very positive about this one. But this application is for the design of essentially a stormwater drainage system that would hopefully help to improve significantly the downtown drainage flooding issue. As you all know, there's a pond currently being constructed on a park just north of here that will help a little bit, but downtown Conway's got some significant problems, and we need some big solutions. So this would be the engineering to figure out how to make a significant difference towards that. And there you go.
Make a motion for the adoption of the resolution.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve this resolution for the submittal of an application to FEMA and the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management for a downtown drainage study project. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Passes 7-0. And Mr. Hawkins, last one.
Final item here, Mr. Mayor, is resolution approving the right-of-way purchase for Salem Road Bridge improvements for the Transportation Department. We have a resolution for this item. It's Resolution R2184.
Would you explain to the
Of
folks at home,
course,
Finley?
yes. This is.
I'm sorry, Finley.
No problem. This is an estimate from the consultant that has been hired to do the right-of-way acquisition. So the actual number for all of the properties for which are necessary to complete the construction of the bridge over the trail and the creek at Salem Road. I think it'll probably come in pretty close to this, but you will hear more about this in the future.
Make a
Motion for adoption of the resolution.
second.
I have a motion and a second to approve this resolution for the right-of-way purchase for the Salem Bridge improvements that'll be forthcoming. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Passes 7-0. We'll have Finley with us till about mid-December. So anyway, you've done a good job for City of
Gonna
Conway.
miss you.
Finley.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next, we have public service, and the first thing we have is an ordinance approving entering into an agreement with Craft and Toll and Associates for the development of Pompey Park. And I can tell you that Pompey Park has really generated some excitement, especially with our veterans. We have Mike Mason and his wife here tonight. Mike's been working with me on this, and he can tell you too that they're excited about this, and so are we. And with that, I'll ask Steve Ibbotson to step up and kind of give the folks at home and you guys a briefing.
As you know, Craft and Toll's been working with us for almost, 10 years on Pompey Park, and this is to approve their contract to get finalize the design work and move forward with the project.
And y'all know this is where we're going to be putting our monument to our veterans and their families. It's not a memorial. It's to show the appreciation that we as a city have for all of our veterans and all their families and all the sacrifices they've made. And it's long overdue. And I appreciate y'all's support on it, really, and I know they do too.
I make a motion to waive the 3 readings.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to waive the 3 readings. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0.
I have one quick
Yes, ma'am.
question. I know a long time ago, there was a big design for Pompey Park.
yes.
Is any of that good, or is it gonna be totally, not to say that I have a preference for that,
Yeah,
but,
no, the boathouse
Yeah.
would require that the creek get moved, and
yeah,
that
no.
generate a lot of hydrology studies and.
Yeah, just in case we get asked, you know, because there was a lot of stuff, but I love the bike,
Oh, yeah.
that is,
Terry's done a good job. on
it's
that.
hysterical to see kids
We'll,
out there.
we'll
on
have,
that.
3 additional bridges go in that will cross, Tucker Creek.
And that'll help, yeah, okay.
One of the first things I asked Steve when we started looking at this a few years ago was, I said, a boathouse? I said, we can't put a boat on that creek. He said, no. I said, why do we need a boathouse? Thank you.
Rerouted.
All right.
I make a motion for adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance to enter into an agreement with Craft and Tull and Associates for the development of Pompey Park. Any further discussion?
Don't ever ask anybody with whatever it is I've got about a boat slip. Tell me about boat slips out at Beaver Fork Lake real quick.
We're still trying to get the breakwater done. Those rock jetties that are out there, we need to remove the 2 and create one big one that will allow people to bring most of the boats that we had out there were party barges. And the area wasn't large enough for those party barges to get in safely and turn to line up with their slips.
Okay.
So we're trying to move all that out.
Okay, I'm sorry. Somebody said it's boat slips and it just
I'll
jumped in my mind.
I'll come back to that.
If I didn't do it right then, I'd forget about it.
Mr. Garrett.
This will be ordinance 021-113. Mr. Ledbetter?
Yes.
Ms. Mel?
Aye.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Isby?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Passes 7-0. And what I'm coming back to, Mr. Hawkins, I asked him that very question last week about where are we on that. And like a lot of things that we're starting to see in the city, we can't find anybody that really wants to do the work right now. I know that some of our concrete contractors, our dirt contractors, Mark, y'all are probably dealing with this in the county. They're having trouble getting folks to work.
Yeah.
It's tough all over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course, I was going to get to work for you. I'd work for free. I know you would. I know. Next up, we have an ordinance approving an agreement with Innovative Sculpture Designs for the creation and installation of a monument for Markham Square. Yes, sir, Mr. Walden.
Yes, so this is, as you all know, we're working on Markham Square, MLK Square. Part of that is we're looking at ways to honor the life and work of Dr. King. We had come up with one of his quotes that was sort of an inspiration, that being the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. We had put out a RFQ for an artist to kind of develop something based on that concept. We had one response from Innovative Sculpture Design, which is great. They're actually a local entity. If you've been on Main Street in Little Rock, where the little Little Rock red wagon new mural is that Stevens tore down several of the buildings there, they put a new artwork up there. It's the same artist. He does very large monumental sculptural design. So this is intended to be about a 22-foot tall sculpture with that, but it's allocating some money from A&P and public art as well. So, but it'll be something there to honor Dr. King, which I think will be very important for that neighborhood and sort of our commitment with that park.
Make a
Motion that we waive 3 readings.
second.
I have a motion and a second to waive the 3 readings. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0.
Make a motion for adoption.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance to approve Innovative Sculpture Designs for a monument for Markham Square. Any further discussion? Mr. Garrett.
This will be ordinance 021-114. Ms. Isby?
Yes.
Ms. Mel?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Tucker? Ms. Tucker,
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins, Mr. Hawkins.
That's twice tonight, isn't it, Andy?
I remember to bring my pen, sir.
You been to church tonight? Yes.
Mr. Ledbetter.
Passes 7-0. Where you been? Next, we have an ordinance to update the authorized positions at the Parks and Recreation Department. Mr. Ibbotson.
Yes, sir. Over the last few years, we've done some reclassifications, and then last year, we moved some part-time money to full-time, for full-time positions that the council granted us, and this is just, like the sanitation and transportation department have both done this, just to organize, clarify the positions and numbers. Not asking for any changes in the budget.
Make a motion that we waive the 3 readings.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to waive the three readings. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0.
Make a
Motion for adoption of the ordinance 21-115.
second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance to update authorized positions in the Park Department. Any further discussion or questions? Mr. Garrett.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Ledbetter,
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins,
Yes.
Ms. Isby,
Yes.
Ms. Mel,
Aye.
Ms. Tucker,
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
That passes 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Ibbotson. And finally, we have the police chief coming up. The last agenda is Public Safety Committee. And this is an ordinance appropriating reimbursement funds from various entities for the Conway Police Department.
Yes,
Chief?
sir. We've received funds from various entities for our extra duty services, insurance proceeds, and donations for our Cops and Coats program, and we're asking you to accept those funds.
Make a motion that we waive the 3 readings.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to waive the 3 readings. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 7-0.
Make a motion for adoption.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance to appropriate reimbursement funds for the Conway Police Department. Any further discussion or questions? Mr. Garrett.
It's be ordinance 021-116. Ms. Mel,
Aye.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Ledbetter,
Yes.
Ms. Tucker,
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins,
Yes.
Ms. Isby.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Council, that's all we have tonight. We will need to meet the Tuesday prior to Thanksgiving. Is that okay with everyone?
I'm gonna be gone. I'll try to go in and zoom in though.
Okay, unless there's an extenuating circumstance such as illness, I don't think we can, or can we now zoom in on council meeting?
Yeah, as long as, in my legal opinion, as long as you have a quorum physically present.
Okay.
And the member that's remoting in, the public can see the member, hear the member, and vice versa.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Yes, thank you, Ms. Smith.
Thanks.
All right, so council, that's all I have tonight. With that,
Mayor?
yes, sir.
If I could have just a second, I'll
Yes, sir.
update you on the fire station,
Okay,
where we're
yes.
at on planning for the new fire station. We had our initial meeting with the architects, the design team, and they sent us some conceptual drawings. Still looking at those and gonna get back with them on that. And they have scheduled as breaking ground on April the 27th of 2022. Complete building February 28th of 23, and owner move in February 28th of 23.
All right, good deal.
That's
Thank you.
very tentative though.
All right, I understand. It's hard to get some materials now, I'm sure. As a council too, and I guess I will ask Jamie to look in on this. The piece of property that we own down there, it'll be up to you guys if we want to keep it, if we want to try to sell it as is with the building, or if we want to take the building down and just sell the property, or take the building down and keep the property. Either way, I don't think that we should even use it for storage or anything else, because if someone were to get hurt, there'd be a liability. We don't have a chance of getting hurt. So anyway, as soon as we kind of get a little bit further down the road, I'll bring you all the options and whatever you guys want to do on that.
Okay, I'd like to, welcome our new member, Mr. Tucker, to our quorum, and say,
Thank you very much, and thanks for making the motion.
Good to be here.
I'm glad you're with us.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You know, I'm sorry, Ann. I'm so used to seeing you around and being involved. I just took it for granted. Everyone, this is Miss Ann Tucker. She's our newest city council member, and she brings a wealth of knowledge, especially in planning with us. 11 years? on the planning?
9.
9 years
9.
on the planning commission?
Yes,
So,
and they're finally rid of me.
so,
Felt like 20.
so welcome in. And just so you know, the council was really nice to me my first meeting, but it's off on the second meeting.
Gotcha. Well, I just wanted to sit over here and remain really quiet through the first one and get a feel for things.
All right. Thank you. Council, with that, I'll take, Mr. Hawkins.
One final item, Mr. Mayor, with passage of things in Washington DC this week, I would think it would be incumbent on us to have as many shovel-ready projects as we can, in case somebody says, hey, we got some money we need to spend. Just my thought.
Here comes Finley.
Mr. Vince?
Finley's got some stuff ready. Yes, sir.
You were hoping I was gonna say that.
Yes, I was.
Yes. I can bring that to the council at our next meeting. I will.
If I may,
I wish you would,
we have a lot.
if it's okay with the council.
Yes.
Thank you. We have a lot ready to go.
Right.
As a matter of fact, COVID has made that difficult. We are in a position where we've got a lot of projects ready to go, and we either can't get equipment or are waiting on utility relocations. There's a variety of things that have got us. I'd say our entire program of work, I'm sad to say, is probably at least 1.5 years behind. But we have a lot ready to go. With respect to being shovel ready, often the only thing, if it's something we've designed ourselves, the only thing that stands in our way is we don't typically do the necessary environmental regulatory work that a federal project would require. So that's something that the mayor and I can speak about. We might want to take some of these projects that we've already designed in-house and go ahead and start on some of the environmental work. We've done that for a lot of grant projects. The Salem Road Bridge is an example. The Salem Road Bridge,
Thank you.
we designed that one ourselves in-house. As soon as it became a federal project, we started doing the regulatory work, and there you have it. So I've been thinking about that, and I'm trying to get us ready for it. But I also appreciate the opportunity to come up and say something I wish I'd said while I was here, which is I've greatly enjoyed serving the city of Conway for 12 years, and I really do thank you.
Thank you, Finley.
On. And if I could just point out that I've got to work a lot with Finley over the last couple of years, and his help with the school crosswalks, the school bus stops, has immeasurably increased the safety of the children who go to our public schools. Whenever I need paint on a crosswalk, or I need a lighted sign, or I need a bus stop sign, street department has always been there as soon as they possibly could be there. I really appreciate that.
Council, I'll take a motion to adjourn. There's a motion and a second. We are adjourned.